People talk about we must become conscious. It's a line. We are conscious. That is our natural state. What's happened is barriers that we have been manipulated, and we must take responsibility for it too, big time, have put in place, have symbolically created a concrete shell around our natural state. And this concrete shell of all the things that control people, fear and stress and conflict and seeking success and competition and all this stuff. It's not that we have to become conscious. We are conscious. Everything gets in, that plays out here, gets in at a vibrational level. That's why we need to get to that level of ourselves and clear ourselves out, because that's where all the patterns are put in. Are the Illuminati families not going to know that this spiritual change, this vibrational alarm clock is coming? I mean, of course they are, and they've known about it for a long time. And so what we're looking at is when you move the power from we're controlling, we're going to give more power, to we must impose more and more control to stop this happening. They're not in a, if you like, a proactive situation now, as they push this Orwellian state on. They're in a defensive situation, trying to keep the lid on human ignorance as this vibrational change brings it to the surface. And, compared with consciousness, this Illuminati, I mean, they're flies on an elephant's back, and they're going to get removed. And, I think it's not about winning the game, it's not about losing the game. It's about realizing the nature of the game and the fact that it's not about winning and losing, it's just about experiencing. And as these pyramids of control, certainly the lower levels first, start getting picked off by this vibrational change, and people start to see things differently. As I've been saying for 20 years, look at a pyramid. The capstone's the place of the power. No, it's not. The capstone's up there because the rest of the pyramid's over in the bugger up there. The rest of the pyramid moves away. Where's the capstone going to do? It's going to crash to the floor. There's nothing holding it up. We're holding up the structure that is our own control system. People have said to me so many times over the years, right from the early days, why aren't you dead? And it may sound, I can only say what I know deep inside. They can't. If we were coming to do something and all it took was for someone to shoot a bullet and it's all over, what's the point? They can't. What I would say very strongly, and it's coming more and more into my life, there is an X factor which I don't understand yet, but I sure as hell know is there. And it's an X factor which is going to bring an end to this childish playground nonsense of human control. It's something I absolutely, at a deep level, I know it. Whenever I think about it, whenever I think about what I'm talking about now, what I see clearly is the planet with a cell prison around it, and a big lock and a key going in. And I'll tell you a funny story. Well, I'll tell you a story. I was feeling so strongly about this about 2 weeks ago. And immediately after, I went on the internet and I'm looking for a picture for my talk. And in front of me was a planet in a prison cell with a big lock on it which said master on it and a key going in. And that X factor, that master key, it's coming, and it's not going to come like cavalry to save everything, but it is a big factor in, I'm absolutely convinced that the end of this prison society is a done deal. I think the outcome is gonna happen. I think it's meant to happen, and we're now seeing, and it will go on for a while, but we're now seeing the last throes of a dying system where the Illuminati in their box are believing they're crashing the system to create something else, when it's actually crashing ultimately for another reason. These people in their panic are going to thrash out in all bloody directions. But you know, that's just part of this transition from where we are to where we're going. And the thing is that, you know, you can look at the news and you can see the conspiracy moving on. In Britain, it's just getting ridiculous. But what you don't see on the news, and therefore it's not in your awareness, is how fast the awakening from the amnesic sleep is moving on.